So we be doing this one right here. Core CPI, CPI, CPI. And bank rate statement and overnight rate. And then press conference from the BOC. All right, that's what we have.
Order filled.
Oh, made a mistake, made a mistake, made a mistake.
Order filled.
Made a mistake. I want to go short.
Order filled.
We need okay, let's see. Finally, at least red. Thought it was stuck. Nine. It's having good. And there's a price level here. I don't know if it's updated. We'll find out in a second too. We're going to delete it. We're going to go here. Look for top step levels. We add it. We close. We have it right here. We close. And we go from there. So we have, currently we have one right here. This yellowish one. We get through that, and the 9 will be on good hands. Otherwise, I just made the biggest mistake. Yep, it is the biggest mistake thus far this morning. So let's get let's get out of here with minimum loss. Minimum loss will be right here.
Order rejected.
Okay, minimum loss is right here. It's not 5. It's like 3. Not 5. Crap. It's 3 right here. Pick me up. Pick me up right here, man. I want to get out of here. Come on. I was afraid of that. Uh, do the levels. Let's do the levels. The levels are here.
Order filled.
So we got out. We down, but not out. So now I'm going to recycle this because it's getting me pissed off. Now it's black over here. And I said I was going to follow that. I'll show you what it is. This right here. Oh, crap. That's not it. Get out.
Order filled.
Okay, let's see how we deal this. Look at the mistake I make. I went ES short exit price. Entry price, exit price, profit and loss, ES 3 short. Let's have it like that. Okay. I should have stuck with my plan. Can we lose this? Is there a fair value gap here? This one right here. Oh, that's not a fair value gap. What are we doing? Oh, comment. Okay, short. Let's see if it worked. What is this? ES. ES short. What is the PT? And it's not, and it's going to be like this. So it's not that big. Short like that. Okay. What is the price short today? 5548. 5548 short. 5548 short. Okay. 5548 short. Now we do cup clone. And now we go like this, we go like that, and we go here. Yes, green. I643. 5643. Actually, it's like 343. Yeah. Okay. But here, L, L, L. So that's what we're looking at today. Look at this. It's not, see, that's why they say there's confluence here. What's the confluence? This yellow one. What is the yellow one? That's not it. Maybe, yeah. No. Yeah, yellow. Yesterday's value area high. Right here. Text. Where is text? Right here. Yellow. In red. I'm mad right now. This thing is playing with me. Yesterday's value area low. Yesterday's value area low. Automate this, man. It's taking forever. I don't like it. Oh my god, what a mess. Oh boy, let's get out of here.
Order filled.
So down $600. Okay, so this goes up here. This comes down and we place it right about here and right about here. Short, long.
Los perros, me refiero a todos los perros del mundo. El inglés, igual al inglés de manera general, no estoy hablando de manera específica el inglés americano o el inglés británico, no, el inglés en general. El chocolate y el dinero de manera general. Cuando hables así de manera general, en inglés ya no debes colocar el artículo the. Esta palabra a nivel básico a menudo se confunde con este pronombre, que también significa él, he. Debes de saber que he se refiere a una persona, también significa
I forgot to save the. Ah, man, I forgot to save.
con este adjetivo. Presta atención a estos ejemplos para que te quede más claro. A la izquierda, he se refiere a una persona, se refiere a él, pero de una persona. He is my friend. Él es mi amigo. He is from Spain. Él es de España.
2917.
He likes music. A él le gusta la música. En cambio, a la derecha, the significa también él, pero como un artículo definido. The book is on the table. El libro está en la mesa. The car is red. El coche es rojo. The boy
What
is
is this?
dancing. Pasemos ahora a las siguientes palabras. A y N. Ambas van a significar un.
Yes. No. Yes.
¿Cuál es la diferencia? ¿Cuándo voy a utilizar una y otra? Si la siguiente
Short.
palabra inicia con una consonante, así como en estos ejemplos, entonces solamente utilizo la A solita. Table, a computer, a book. Sin embargo, si la siguiente palabra inicia con un
Yeah.
como en estos otros ejemplos, entonces en lugar de an, debo utilizar an.
Yeah.
An orange, an umbrella, an honest. En ambos grupos significan lo mismo. Una mesa, una computadora, un libro, una naranja, un paraguas, un artista. Si quieres decir un, uno, una en plural, es decir,
Is it CL?
unas, algunos,
It's
algunas,
GL.
debes entonces utilizar some. Si quisieras decir en inglés lo siguiente, compré unas manzanas o tengo unos libros, no vas a utilizar las palabras que vimos en la anterior diapositiva, sino la palabra some. I bought some papers. I have some books. I bought some flowers for you. I have some fish. This is it.
GC.
Money. I need some chairs. I need some sugar. Debes de saber que con la palabra son, aparte de significar unos, unas, también significa, como puedes ver aquí, algunos, algunas, un poco de, algo de. Y normalmente esta palabra la vas a utilizar en inglés cuando estés afirmando. Es decir, en afirmaciones. Todas estas son afirmaciones. Si quisieras hacer
Did I save it?
o negar, entonces deberías utilizar la palabra any. Significa lo mismo, pero para negaciones y para preguntas. Así como puedes ver en estos ejemplos.
I didn't save it. Okay, good.
En estos casos, any es la que debes utilizar. Do you have any questions? Do you need any help? Do you have any apples? I don't see any birds. I don't like any of this. I don't have any money. Otra palabra a la que también le debes prestar mucha atención es esta. Much. Significa mucho o mucha. Y vas a utilizarla con sustantivos que no se pueden contar, así como en estos ejemplos. Si quieres expresar mucho o mucha, debes decirlo con esta palabra. There isn't much food. How much is it? I don't have much time. How much does it cost? There isn't much to do here. I don't know much. Una particularidad también de esta palabra es que solamente la vamos a utilizar cuando estemos negando o cuando estemos preguntando. Si queremos afirmar algo, entonces necesitamos utilizar la palabra a lot of. Esta sí se puede utilizar con sustantivos contables y no contables, así como en estos ejemplos. I have a lot of work to do. Tengo mucho trabajo que hacer. Es una afirmación. She drinks a lot of water every day. Ella toma mucha agua todos los días. We saw a lot of movies last weekend. Vimos muchas películas el fin de semana pasado. There are a lot of books in the library. Hay muchos libros en la biblioteca. Entonces la palabra much solamente se va a utilizar para afirmar y para negar. Si queremos afirmar, tendríamos entonces que utilizar a lot of. Y esta palabra nos va a servir también para afirmaciones, para preguntas y también para negaciones. Es como un comodín. Do you have a lot of friends? ¿Tienes muchos amigos? How much money do you have? A lot of or a little? ¿Cuánto dinero tienes? ¿Mucho o poco? Is there a lot of traffic today? ¿Hay mucho tráfico hoy? Did you eat a lot of food at the party? ¿Comiste mucha comida en la fiesta? Are there a lot of options available? ¿Hay muchas opciones disponibles? O negaciones. I don't have a lot of time. No tengo mucho tiempo. There isn't a lot of sugar left. No queda mucha azúcar. He doesn't have a lot of experience. Él no tiene mucha experiencia. We didn't see a lot of people at the event. No vimos muchas personas en el evento. She doesn't eat a lot of junk food. Ella no come mucha comida chatarra. A lot of es un comodín que puedes utilizar para afirmar, para negar y para preguntar. Pero much solamente lo vas a utilizar para negar y preguntar. Una palabra hermana de la palabra much es many. Esta se va a utilizar para sustantivos que podamos contar o que podamos pluralizar. Esta significa muchos o muchas. Y la ventaja de esta es que podemos utilizarla tanto para afirmaciones, negaciones o preguntas. Afirmaciones. I have many friends. She read many books. They visited many countries. I don't have many cookies. He doesn't have many opportunities. We didn't see many animals at the zoo. How many apples do you want? Do you have many books at home? Are there many students in your class? Como puedes ver, many la vamos a utilizar cuando el sustantivo del que estemos hablando esté en plural o tenga S, así como te estoy marcando aquí. Y de estas palabras, much y many, se derivan estas palabras interrogativas como how much. How much es una palabra que utilizamos para hacer preguntas y significan las dos cuánto o cuánta. Nuevamente vamos a utilizarla para sustantivos que no podamos contar o sustantivos en singular. Ejemplos. ¿Cuánto cuesta este? ¿Cuánta agua necesitas? ¿Cuánto tiempo tenemos? Como puedes ver, el sustantivo que estamos utilizando en nuestra pregunta es un sustantivo que no podemos contar y que no le colocamos ese. En inglés, entonces, estas preguntas debemos hacerlas con how much. How much is this? How much water do you need? How much does it
To
cost?
see us get above settlement before the number comes out, but
How much milk?
let's see what happens here.
How much
Settlement price in gold, 2920.9. That's your settlement price in gold. We're about 6 ticks away from there right now. On our way up.
Let's go.
Everybody get out and push.
Everybody
Let's
out
go,
and push.
everybody.
Push, kick, shove, whatever we need to do.
If we get this trade 1-to-1 R going into the number, we might just hold it. It'll be a free trade at that point.
As far as expectations go, it doesn't look like any of them are pretty skewed. But once again, anything can happen.
ACH.
Yeah,
How many hours do you work
better
each
safe
week?
than sorry.
How many meals do you eat a day? How many days are in a week?
All right, guys, we got
How
about
many seasons are there in a year? How
3
many
minutes,
days do you
3.5 minutes
minutes.
until
How many
CPI.
hobbies do you have?
1, 2,
3.5
3.
minutes.
We have a target on that gold, or what are we doing?
3,000.
3,000. We're holding
Right.
it.
There we go.
There we go. I'll take that, Hope.
Make everything back in one trade.
$80.
You think it's funny?
Yes, we do.
Well,
it
we have
Stewie?
a
What's up, Vince?
volume point of control up here at 2924.10. So I don't know if you want to play the number, huh? Yeah, let's get some excited.
We're gonna see. We got a couple ticks into this trade. What should we do with our stop, Og? Should we move it up to break even for the number, or just don't touch it?
Historically, when we touch the stop, we screw it up. But this is a number. We do get
This
hit.
is a number.
And a
Big
big number.
slip it.
too.
Someone's
We,
looking pretty
compensate?
thin.
Compensate for slippage. Move it up.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, this isn't something that I would carry into in my own account. So if we can just put the risk on it, let's do it. If we can
How
stop
about we
down
just
on
cover
it,
and get
we'll
back in? How
Yes,
about we cover and get back in after the number?
we can try that.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna get out.
Yeah, we tapped settlement and sold off from it, so
No real inventory. Overnight. I mean, testing the low of value. I'm in no hurry to hold on to this.
Yeah.
Well, what about if
We
we
just
put a
covered,
long, entry like work in order at 29.12?
We just covered at 20.3. We just covered at 2030. Made $100 on that.
Nice.
We will
There you go. Nice small
look
win.
for
There you
better
go.
trade
Benjamins.
location.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Or the Benjamin, just one of them.
That was
One of them,
a good out. We're right back to our entry price.
Yeah.
Katie, we think of a long, maybe down around 29.12. Work a long down there. What do you think?
Oh, put one in ahead of the number.
Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right near
Good exit on that trade. Good exit on that trade.
right near yesterday's IB low. Are you looking at there, Vince?
All right,
Yeah,
here we go,
and there's
kids.
also like volume point of control from previous day, so maybe 29.05. Sure not. I don't know.
I'm glad we talked through that exit. It was a great exit.
Yeah.
Build some confidence. All right, 30 seconds, kids.
All the domes are looking very thin.
Very thin.
If you are in a position and you get your stop hit, expect slippage.
I do have a quick story though. One time I got long the open range with 2
10
contracts,
seconds.
and I didn't realize it was CPI day. I guess I was tired, got up and wanted to put the trade on right away. Got
Here we go.
44 ticks of slippage on 2 contracts.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh, look at that.
Disappeared.
All right, CPI year over year coming in at 2.8. They were looking at 2.9. Month over month, they were looking at 0.3, coming in at 0.2%. U.S. core CPI, they were looking at 3.2, coming at 3.1. And the core CPI month over month, they were looking at 0.3, coming in at 0.2. So really, I tell you, boy, these numbers weren't skewed, pretty close, but look what it did.
Could have been a contender.
Man,
Could
that
have
was
been
the trade.
somebody.
That's the trade of the day right there.
3,000s there.
You got right to yesterday's value high there.
Yeah, but the
Value high,
would
29.26.
we played it safe.
29.2680 value high. Bounce right off of it.
Yep.
Played it safe.
Now we got something to work
No
with here,
FOMO.
so.
Yes.
Everyone's saying we should have held. Hindsight 2020, right? Welcome to
Yeah,
Hindsight
would've,
Capital.
shoulda.
We'll find a better location. Don't worry about it. We're going to capitalize on something big here.
Yeah, that's just a gamble, though. We don't want to gamble.
Yeah. We're going to find a good
All right.
entry. Take
What
advantage
did
of this
the
market.
actual come out?
We had CPI year over year 2.8, CPI month over month 0.2. They were looking at a 0.3. CPI core 3.1. I mean, they were pretty close.
A little lower than
Better all around.
Those are not hot numbers. That's a good
No.
thing.
No, those are
No.
it's cooling off. Those are very cool off type numbers.
They are.
Just a little bit though, just a little bit. Year over year CPI down 0.1% from our consensus, or down 0.2% from prior, which is decent, and 0.3% month over month. Those are decent numbers. Those numbers are good for us. Consumer prices are down just a little bit.
Now we wait for PPI tomorrow.
Now we wait for PPI tomorrow. Consumer prices are down. That means producer prices should be down a little bit too, right? It would lead one to assume.
Well, I mean,
Producers want to
prices
pay
are
more
a
and then
little
charge
further
less,
out.
right? Mm-hmm.
Producer prices are a little further out look. Right? Before it gets to the consumer, it's got to get to the producer first.
Mm-hmm. Eddie, any news overnight? What did we miss?
Oh, my goodness.
Look at that gold.
Yes, we did have some news overnight. Well, in the U.S. stock futures hovering just above the flat line here for that number, with investors awaiting the key inflation. We did see that hit the wire. We had the S&P futures added a Richard Petty at 43 points, or 0.7%. The NASDAQ 100 climbed 176. That's the spirit, of 0.9%. And the Dow futures increased by 234 points, 0.6%. Now, main averages sank here We did see that coming in here with the whipsaw. There we go. Fueled by the Trump's on and off levies. Now we saw that yesterday. I was a little hesitant on hitting the good old Morse code button when red came out, due to the fact that it was on and off. Yes, I'm going to do it. No, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to do it. But anyway, President threatened to double import duties on Canada steel and aluminum to a 25% levy imposed by the province of Ontario. Now, yes, the Premier of Ontario was also threatening to cut power to some of the U.S. States, and that would have sucked. But otherwise, we did see that Trump's expanded tariffs on steel and aluminum came into effect today, marking the latest salvo in his drive to overhaul the U.S. trading relationship with both friends, if you want to call them that, and foes alike. So the move also bolstered protections of U.S. manufacturers of steel and aluminum. U.S. has agreed to restart intelligence sharing and military aid back to Ukraine. Once we pulled the carpet, we're putting the carpet back down. Following a meeting yesterday in Saudi Arabia between two of the officials from the U.S. and Ukraine, they said that the joint statement in terms any ceasefire would be subject to Russia's approval. Now, we did have some good news as far as that, saying that, yes, Ukraine is a go for a ceasefire, and we're just waiting for, most likely we'll hear something coming off the wire here from Russia. But that's what I've got so far. I'm going to pass it back to you. Let's see if we got another opportunity here.
Here we go. Knee-jerk reaction was to the upside in almost everything we're looking at. NQ, ES, Russell, Dow, gold, crude. Everything popped off that CPI number and is sort of settling back in right now. Is this a fade the first move kind of scenario, Hogue? We still have an opportunity to get in short in a couple of markets if we really wanted to. Or do we look for
I don't know.
five?
This is the first good news we've seen or heard in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are probably just like grasping at anything to try and find a reason to buy these things, and that might be it.
Will it continue, though? Is this a short-lived rally?
Oh, man.
Certainly.
I knew that.
Things are certainly looking bleak in equities the last couple weeks, but
they have been.
We've got about 23 and a half minutes until crude oil open. Crude oil open is at 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time. So we're going to look at the opening range trade in crude. Before that, we're going to do a little chart analysis. Coach Vince, what are you guys seeing in the S&P 500 this morning?
Hey, real quick here.
Folks,
before we hit that,
what's up, Eddie?
Before we hit that, I had a biscuit to share here. U.S. short-term interest rate futures pair earlier losses after that CPI report, saying that traders still see the Fed resuming rate cuts in June. So mark that down, June. We've heard May, we've heard March, we've heard December, but this is what what traders are seeing right now. Back to you, JD.
Thank you, Eddie. All right, let's burn through some charts and see what we're looking at going into the equity open.
All right, folks. Remember, this is all about context. Great to have my good friend Vince with us. I know he's an S&P trader. He's a gold trader. We're going to see what he's got to say. But starting with the weekly chart, we've had a balance to breakout situation. How is the market doing is always that question. We are, as we reminded you yesterday, we are in rollover. So take a look at now at the breakouts from balance to continuation to the downside, trading basically down to 10% off the all-time March high. Daily chart. Okay, one-time framing lower, a little bit of excess down below that 10% off the all-time high in the S&Ps. How good is the auction doing? Vince, we always look at volume. We always look at open interest when we're engaging in directional market. And volume has been holding up relatively well, especially considering it is rollover. We added 30,000 estimated new contracts to the downside yesterday. 95% of that was in the June contract. So the open interest, of course, is rolling from the March to the June contract, and most of
Mhm.
that open interest that came in yesterday did come in the June contract. So Vince, how would you say that yesterday's downside auction performed?
Well, I mean, it's going to be skewed, right, Hope, because of the open interest coming into the June contract. So I don't know if we're going to get a really true read on what's going on. So there's overall money came into the downside, right? You said we had a build of open interest as at the end of the day. Yesterday we kind of settled pretty flat, right? We had a neutral. What do we have here? Neutral center day yesterday.
Both
So
sides
we
of the initial
traded.
balance
Yeah,
were
we traded both sides yesterday and
mhm.
kind of settled. It looks like kind of in the middle of the range. So I think it's going to be a tough read for me, Hogue, honestly, because of the way that we traded yesterday. We put in additional contracts to the downside, but we kind of didn't move anywhere. So maybe they
Mhm.
got what they were looking for yesterday on both sides, maybe rolling this over and getting a happy median in the middle. I don't know. It's a tough read for me, I would say.
And with CPI coming out tomorrow, I think there's probably a lot of people that are probably going to remain somewhat on the sidelines or at least hedged in their positions. Um, that around the world move that we took yesterday, we opened, put in the IB high, broke the IB low, came all the way back, took out the IB high, and then rotated back to the center. Is pretty typical for a day like that. You guys can get back on my charts. There's a couple of things I want to show. All right, so look at that stab to the upside, that spike to the upside after the number came out.
Mhm.
Went right to last week's
Wonderful.
low, 26.73 even. 26.73 even last week's
Mhm.
low. Value did move overlapping to lower yesterday, so the market is still attempting to go lower. My question is it beginning to slow? Probably, because it's rollover partially, and we do have more information due out. So I'm giving the downside auction basically a C. I don't think it's performing all that well. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. Of course, we're all well aware of that. So we're going to be looking at possibly some overnight inventory to the long side. If we were to open with a gap higher and be unable to close that gap, I could see us recovering and maybe picking up some unfinished business at higher levels. Of course, watch that 10% off the all-time high to the downside. Yesterday's low wasn't a very high excess low, which is, of course, going to be a little bit of concern. But on the daily chart, we do see a degree of excess. This is the daily chart. And how do most auctions die? They die in excess. Excess
Yep.
low, excess low, excess low, excess low, excess low. So we may be getting to a point here where we're starting to feel and look a little bit cheap. Maybe some bargain hunters start to come in here again. Watch yesterday's lows if they are approached. Looking at the NASDAQ now, again, balance breakout to continuation. 15% off the all-time high. That's why I put these on here when the market starts to turn lower, is we're not the only ones looking at it. We had the weekly kickoff low at 19,270. That was supportive the day before yesterday. The 15% off the all-time high in the March contract was supportive. Yesterday, the weekly chart still looks like it is attempting to go lower. We added 11,000 contracts overall in NASDAQ yesterday, 5,000 in the March contract and 6,000 in the NASDAQ. So the open interest increase in the NASDAQ was pretty much split, unlike the S&Ps.
Mhm.
What did the daily chart look like here? So we were kind of speculating yesterday that it may be somewhat of an indecisive day, almost a doji yesterday. I would call that an indecisive day. We took our look below weekly kickoff low near the 15% off the all-time high, and we did find some buyers down there, even though they may be short covering buyers. Uh, Take a look at the 30-minute chart. So what do we notice here, Vince? Where while yesterday in the S&P was pretty much an outright lower value, in the NASDAQ it's overlapping to lower. You can almost kind of see it, and you can almost kind of feel that the downside momentum seems to be waning a little bit. Would you agree with that, Vince?
I do, but if you pull up my chart real quick, there's a level here. It's interesting. So we have this downward slope, right, Hogue? And if we can stay below this level here, I think I like shorts until we can break out and hold above it. This has been going on for quite some time here, right? So if we look here at February 21st, we've been in this downward channel for quite some time, and we're getting close to it now, and we have value. We have this low here from back on March 7th, which comes in line with where we traded earlier, right, on that little spike up. So I'm thinking if we can stay below this downward sloping trend line, I think I'm going to like the short side until we can break and get some sort of acceptance above it. This is this is a neckline up here for a head and shoulders pattern. I think I was watching. So if we break and hold, I do like a test up here to this 2030 level, 2300 level. But if we can't accept above here, I think I like the short side.
So how many points of contact are on that?
1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, if you count this one,
that
4.
An exacting reference?
What was that? I missed you there.
Call that an exacting reference, where a lot of traders are looking at it and taking executions up against that level, shorter time frame traders.
I would say yeah. I would say yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's why I think if we get acceptance above it, I think we're going to have a move.
Yes, and that March 7th low is last week's low. We just traded up to it.
Right here.
Right there. And right above that on the 30-minute chart is the 200 session moving average. 849. So a very interesting area.
Here it is,
kind
right
of a
here.
Big
Look,
area.
At 200 is right on the trend line there.
Right on it. Yeah. So that would certainly be a level that I will be paying attention to today, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. What's that level again, Vince?
Interesting. So we're looking at around about 19,850, say, call it 19,850, 19,849.
Write that down. All right. Yeah. Coach Vince has set the price. All right. Profile yesterday, another round the world day in the NASDAQ, unable to take out the overnight low. Not a very strong low. There is excess on that low on the 30-minute chart, but again, when we look at that daily chart, see a rather significant degree of excess on this low. Auctions die in excess. I'm not suggesting that we're out of the woods here yet, folks. There's still a lot unknowns out there. Let's take a look at crude. What do you think? All right, here's the weekly. Still range bound. Took a look, last week down to this level, back to this level this week. Finding buyers down there. It's short time frame control. Whenever we are range bound, it is kind of tightening. The range is tightening. Something is going to happen. Something will change this at some point. We just don't know when. So we are currently in a longer time frame area of balance and a short time frame balance. 5 days in this short time frame area of balance. When we started coming back into this area, we were saying this is going to be a really sticky area. It's going to get stuck in here, and it's going to take some time to get out of it. This was, what was this, back in September through December. 3 months of balance, we're back in it. We tested to the lower extreme. If we can't break out to the downside, the logical movement of the market, if there is any logic in the market, would be
order rejected
back to the high of this area of balance. Right now, we're stuck in the mud, much smaller.
Order filled.
Balance. What do we do yesterday?
Order filled.
We lost 19,000 in
Order filled.
estimate. It is not finite. It will change, but they'll probably be pretty close. So if we look at where we looked down to last week's low and we closed higher on the day, it might suffice to say that we covered some shorts down there. Would make sense. We're at the lower extreme of balance. If there are any shorts here, you'd better start lightening up. You can always get back if you see a breakout to the downside. One other thing that we were looking at today is the OPEC meeting, OPEC monthly report. I haven't seen anything about that yet. It is also EIA Petroleum Status Report Day. Is it? Yes, it is. 9:30 Central Time.
Yes,
so there's
it is.
more information to come. 30-minute chart. All right. Week high from back here on the 7th of March. What did we do yesterday? We lost 19,000 in open interest on a down day. Well, it was more of an up day. It took all day for us to unravel the overnight inventory, which was long. I'm still thinking that this day created a short covering situation, losing that open interest. By the end of the day, it's a P-shaped profile, just kind of opposite of the direction that it would normally be. And we are looking at some overnight inventory to the long side. Where did we open last night? We opened about there. And we are trading up here. So overnight inventory is to the long side. We are at the highs from yesterday. We're going to open with a gap. ED. That might be helpful for us for our opening range trade. If we don't fill
Order filled.
we get an opening range.
High, okay.
It is left at the low. This might be a strong market, and we might see that market continue to
Order filled.
Higher in the shorter and
Order filled.
Frame area of balance.
Order filled.
Vince, any thoughts on this?
Yeah. So if you want to, JD, if you want to go to
Order
my chart
filled.
real quick. All right.
Gotcha.
So we are
Order
are
filled.
definitely in this range, right? So
Order filled.
just pull this up here.
Order filled. Order rejected.
Yeah, so we're kind of in a range right here, right, for the past, since the March 4th. And I'm looking at, value hasn't really moved anywhere in the past couple of days. We have value high here, value low. So we're stuck here. Let me zoom out a little bit. So we have a point of control up here that has not been checked. So we have a naked volume point of control here at 67, 74-ish. But there were some things going on in crude that I've been watching. So we had this, I called it a head and shoulders in my eyes, and we had this measured move. And then we had a bigger one back here with the measurement down to, projecting this out to 63.70-ish. And I've been watching off these highs here to see if we can hold. So if we get up here, tap this point of control and fail, get back below this trend line, I'm probably going to look to get short. But if we get acceptance above it, I would like to see us take out these highs up here on 68.20-ish. And then maybe try to push up to this naked point of control up here on the long side. So those are the things I'm looking at to the long side, these 2 points of control here. But if we can hit it and we rotate back down and get acceptance, I might look to see this continue lower. So it's all about how we trade around this level for me right now. On an intraday time frame.
Right.
What's that?
Balance to breakout rules, essentially, correct?
Yes. Yeah, because we're stuck in this balance range here from 68.25 down here to 65.25. So we're in the $3 range. But this area here is, look what it's been doing, right? It went down to 65.25, 68.25, and it's just chopping around this area. So I'm going to fade the extremes here if it allows me to. If not, maybe we're going to break out finally and get back to the long side.
Balance to
But
break
then that will
out
bring me
gold.
up to this level here, 69.40-ish.
Fade the extremes of the balance unless you get an accepted breakout, which you go with. Balance to breakout. Thanks. All right, let's take a quick look at gold. Weekly chart. Range. 1, 2, 3, fourth week in range. Price being advertised rather centrally located inside of range, probably shorter time frame. Or is it? We see a bit of a delta divergence yesterday. Take a look at the daily. All right. Here's our area of balance. The balance extreme we tested to last week. They're centrally located. Are we going to see a rotation back to the high of the range here? Who knows? We did see some recovery yesterday. It was an outside day in the extended trading hour range yesterday. Did we add open interest? That was my question for the afternoon recap yesterday. Seeing the negative delta, we added 4,000 in open interest. So when we see that delta divergence, in other words, delta is negative while price holds at a level or continues to move higher, is indicative of possible longer time frame traders accumulating longs. An increase in open interest, also an indication of that. If you were around back at the beginning of the year, we talked about there was negative delta, increasing open interest at higher levels. And this was basically, I thought, somewhat predictive. Nothing can predict, but I've seen it before. When you see open interest increasing at higher levels with negative delta on a daily basis, that's the beginning of a potential move. And that move was about $340 before it finally topped off and broke the upside market state. So we may be, are we starting to see that now? Nobody can know for sure, but I'll be watching. And if I start to see consistent moving higher on higher open interest on negative delta, I will certainly let you know, because that could create our next move up to that 3,000 level that we started talking about. In essence, back in January when we saw the picture kind of coming together, market generated information. Picture gives you information. You got to digest it. You got to decide what it's telling you, and then you've got to act. So, all right. Daily chart again, this kind of recovery yesterday. Here's what we were looking at. So this was the profile from yesterday. We still have that island bottom, okay, from back here on the 28th of February. Gap to it, gapped away. Reversal pattern. Came back relatively close to checking the high of that gap, unable to go into it. We've seen buyers coming back in. Now, yesterday, we opened, order filled. We put in the low, and then we held basically magnetized around the IB high for the rest of the day. And while the market was holding up here, Delta continued to decrease in value or get deeper into the negative number. That says there's buyers, quiet buyers, putting in bids, shorter time frame traders hitting those bids using market orders, creating the negative delta. Therefore, when we were looking at the open interest this morning, I said, okay, if we had an increase in open interest against negative delta, the market holding at least, maybe not going out maybe not running higher, but at least holding, maybe we found some decent buyers there. Maybe we found some decent buyers. When we're in range, typically it's going to be shorter time frame traders. We are starting to come into the very beginnings of rollover in gold. I'm not thinking that is going to affect volume too much just yet, but if we did see longer time frame buyers here yesterday, we watched today and said negative delta, we might be able to detect, buyers are still there. They're still protecting the area where they were buying yesterday. Odds are we may see the market continue to push to the upside. Vince, I know we've got a couple to add to that, and then we'll take a look at this opening range trade in crude oil.
Sure. All right, so see what we got going on. I got a lot going on my chart, so I apologize.
That's all right.
All right, so we're right here now, right? So we have settlement from
order
yesterday,
filled
control.
Order filled.
Trade check both of those in regular trading hours.
Order filled.
This is an area where I feel there is going to be some resistance up here. Okay, so you can see we had sellers came in here, sellers came in here, sellers came in here. So we're kind of at the top of the range there. If I'm long today, I'm looking probably to cover somewhere up in this range between 35 to 38. If we break out above this, okay, I do like what you're saying, getting us up to 3,000 at some point, because if we take these guys out, we take these guys out here, there's a very good chance that we're gonna start to get bullish momentum. But if we fail up here, we could probably just stay in this range from. We've been here.
That's what range is it? What are we talking?
March 4th.
Those
So
are
20. Yeah, sorry, Eddie.
$2,000,
29. I would say 39-ish up there, around 28, 29, 38 to 29, 40. I would say is the high end of our range right now in the short time frame. Right, this is on the 30-minute chart. So this is from back on March the 4th. So I'm going to watch and see how we progress through this. But we have value low here from yesterday. We kind of have excess down here at the lows on the 30-minute candle. The buyers came in here at 29.14-ish on two different occasions. So I'm going to be watching this market to hold yesterday's low. If we cannot hold yesterday's low, I do like a test to.
You're gonna have to start from scratch again.
Naked point of control at 29.10-ish, with a move down here to around 28.96, 97. So to the downside, I'm looking for targets of 29.10 to 28.97. Upside targets, I'm looking up here on 29.36 to 35 to 38 to the upside.
Hey guys, sorry to break in. We got our opening crude oil. Crude oil is open for business. 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time is regular trading hours opening crude. We're looking at the 1 minute opening range trade in crude right now. We got about 30 seconds left till we establish that opening range. We'll put a stop to enter one tick above the opening range, stop to enter one tick below the low of the opening range, and that will be our trade. So far, we're looking at a 14 tick wide opening range trade in crude oil. Current regular trading hours low, 67 even. Regular trading hours high, 67.14.
Inside yesterday's range, right up against order
Inside
filled.
Yesterday's range. I'm going to place our orders to enter now. We're about 5 seconds out. We're getting a stop to enter at 66.99 on the downside, and a stop to enter 67.15 on the upside. All right. We'll keep an eye on this. If we get triggered on an entry, I will jump back in. But why don't you guys get back into that gold you were talking about? Just wanted to give everybody a heads up on what the house account is doing right now. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Got it, JD.
How many contracts
Just the one.
are working?
Just one.
Alrighty.
Expanding our risk just a little bit will be 20 ticks of heat on this trade if we get in.
Just a heads up, guys. We're getting some OPEC news across the board here. I'm not showing that it's affecting the crude here, but just a heads up. You never know.
Yeah, thanks, Eddie. Meeting order filled. Monthly.
There's so much going on, right? This is amazing time that we're in.
So as far as overnight inventory in crude is concerned, we're a little bit long, still inside that opening range. So JD, let us know when we get a fill. We were just going to take a quick look probably at the YM. We've added that. Get a kind of a look here. It finally broke to the downside in the longer time frames here. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. So weekly kickoff low, really the kind of low of the area of balance that it's been in. And this week, we've kind of broken our way it is in rollover, as is the S&P and the NASDAQ and all the other.
This one is the
Hora
black and the chingadera.
Got to keep in mind we added 2,000 in open interest to the downside yesterday. So
let's get out.
We're in a market state change here from balance the potential
Get out,
continuation
get
to the
out.
downside. There's the daily chart.
Can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do
You know,
it?
so broke out
Hey, just a heads
Monday,
up, Hogue.
Tuesday
I was going to
continuation.
get triggered long in the crude oil. One tick of slippage. We were working a 67.15 stop to get long. Actual fill 67.16. House count long. One crude oil 67.16. CYA 66.96.
Okay.
Thanks,
I have
JD.
to take
All
it
right.
off.
Order filled. So we tested basically back to the weekly kickoff low. What was support? Inconsistent. Volume was pretty good on that downside move or continuation move yesterday with additional open interest. I mean, I'd almost give this downside move
Order
a higher
filled.
grade than the S&P and the NASDAQ because the volume was good. I added open interest. Take a look at the 30. Overnight inventory is to the long side. We got the knee jerk at 730. Inside range, inside value. Whenever that happens, what do we always save in? We open inside range and inside value.
Patience.
Patience, Iago. Patience. So we'll see. Pretty decent overnight move night before last back to weekly kickoff low 40.30, 42,130, and just another kind of trip around the world again. Didn't take out the IB high as the S&P and the NASDAQ did. There's the Dow has held up much better. I think it's got more room to give to the downside if it is going to. Kind of a weak low yesterday in the Dow. Vince, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so I agree with you, Hogue. The Dow seems to be pretty weak. You can see every time let's flip to my chart, JD. I'm on a 30 here. What were we on there? A daily, Hogue? That was a 30. Okay. So look how the Dow has been trading, right? It's kind of like they're stepping down. It's not. I think it's more organized, if that's the right word. But I mean, we keep having these little like rallies and sell off, right? These bear flags, and it's been pretty structured, in my opinion. This one didn't work out too well here, but since March the 3rd, we've kind of just been, sell off, consolidate, sell off, consolidate, sell off, and then we get a little bit of what's this here? This is a small. That's from CPI. This here. So I do like the downside in the Dow. We have value low from a couple days ago up here where we just keep saying up here 42,040. We had value low from 2 days prior, and this CPI move got us right up to it, and we kind of rejected it right up to it. So we took out yesterday's value high is at 41,750 ish. So we're trading right now at value high from yesterday. We're not open yet, but we'll have to see what we do here. I don't know what the settlement price is. I forgot to put on my chart here in the Dow. Anybody have the settlement price for Dow?
I am 41,475.
41,000. Oh wow, way down here. Okay, so that's interesting. So we have settlement down here at 41,475. Right now, like you said, we're inside a range of value. I'm going to be patient. If we open, above range and value up against this downward sloping trend line, I do like an open range trade to the downside, maybe both sides. It depends, right? Because this is going to be an important level. So depending on where we open, so if we open somewhere up here above 41,900, I'm probably going to look for open range trade for a inventory adjustment back to settlement, okay, and maybe back to value area play down to value low of 41,345. So it all depends how we open and which side we take. If we break above this downward slope, this is a 200-day on the 30, and we get some acceptance, I do like a rally up here to check. What level is this here? like 42,440-ish. Okay, and then we have another one up here at 42,620.
Pointing out the naked points of control, folks.
Yes, these are the volume points of control. I mean, the TPOs are probably going to be a little different. And we also have an unchecked settlement area from back here on March 5th. So we have an outstanding settlement that we never checked in regular trading hours. And we have these naked points of control outstanding here at 42,60, 42,620, and 42,440 around there. So it all depends how we open here. But if we open above range and value, I might look for an early trade.
Well, thanks, Vince. Gotta say good morning.
Got it.
Top of the chat, Bear Goes Long. Dan Trader, Thomas Tanka, Shubham, good morning. Anastasios, Theo, Tom, Adrian, Tim C, Crawdads Fish Market, John Jones.
Right.
Good morning, everybody. Vince, thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning.
Thank you, guys.
For
pleasure.
Excellent analysis. As always, we all got to take that deep breath before we start trading. Stay humble, grateful, creative, and trading. Pray for peace every day. And that's all I got. Vince, anything else you want to say?
No, so we're long crude, right?
Yes.
Yeah, let's get into this trade. Housecom's long crude oil, 67.16. We got a couple ticks into it right now. We're taking 20 points of heat at the moment. We got a couple targets in mind. Our guy, was it Jay Sims in the chat? I was looking for a target 37.50 and then $38, 67.50 and then $68 even. He's got some resistance up there. What are you guys seeing above in crude oil right now? What do you think a good target price would be on this opening range trade if we were to continue higher?
I see a weak high from the 30th. I'm sorry, from the 7th up at 68.20.
Yes.
68.20. That is a nice deep target. I like it. We're approaching overnight high right now. 67.33 overnight high. We're about 8 ticks away from there right now. I love taking out overnight highs, so that is definitely on my radar.
That would be good.
68.22 is the week high from back on March 7th.
It's birthday.
But JD, if you go to my chart real quick, JD, I just want to show you one quick thing. So I would monitor the trade right up against this zone right here. So if we start to get some sort of funny business going on up in here.
What's that zone, Vince?
Oh, sorry. 50 to 75. 67, 50 to 67. Yeah.
Fine monkey business.
Yeah.
So
write it down. 67.50 to 67.75. Good feedback in the chat.
Other than that, if we blow that out, I love that taking out 68.22 week high from back here on March 7th. Would be nice, wouldn't it? So I would love it. And I mean, from that point, we could get all the way up here to 69.40. So is it 69.40? Oh, wait, no, that's not right. Where'd this line come in from? Oh, yeah, I had this on the chart here. So this was a repair zone from back on March 3rd. So yeah, so 69.40. So that's what's up there.
69.40. That would be an excellent target today. We do have crude oil news coming out. We got the EIA petroleum status report coming out at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. We're expecting some announcements from OPEC Plus also. So crude oil could be rocking and rolling today. We're still at 0.5 to 1, 0.5 hour on this trade. Kind of settled down. We've had a couple 1-minute bars with just 1 or 2 tick ranges here. I'm going to spread this out to a 15-minute chart, actually. Get a deeper look.
JD, these opening range trades in crude oil have been painfully slow all day.
Have.
All day. They just don't move that quick.
It's true. It's set it and forget it type of scenario. I'm sorry, what was that, Hogue? I missed that last part.
And we're waiting for the EIA. May not do much until then.
Very true, very true. But we will hold on to it. We're still slowly ticking higher, so I don't hate this trade. We're on the right side. Would you consider that a gap fill, Hogue?
No trade hating. Gap fill? I mean, we opened
Do
it.
we have a
to high
gap
of the
fill?
range. We opened it to
Yeah.
higher of the range. So there's no session gap. But if we're looking at a settlement gap, we're in the wrong direction. Settlement's all the
We're
way
in the wrong
down.
direction.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Settlement's all the way down at 66 and a quarter.
Yes. No session gap, though.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see once we get to that 67, 40, 50, 75 level. Settlement was where, Hogue? 66.
20 business.
What was the settlement on that? I want to put it on my chart real quick.
Funny
66
business.
and a quarter.
It's a funny business?
66 and a quarter? All right.
You kids and your funny.
66, 41, 66.
Well, folks, you know what? Just wanted to chime in here. With our CPI coming in cooler than expected, markets bets on the Fed rates this year, we're going to be seeing closer to 3 cuts this year, 2 cuts mostly priced in for June and September, with our CPI coming in cooler than expected. So we'll see how that plays out. But we got about a minute here before we take a break, go to fast markets, and just wanted to say, Johnny, you had your final words. If Vince had any, and JD also.
Thank you, Eddie. Yeah, we're just going to continue to monitor this crude oil trade. Again, house count long 67.16. We got a realized P&L of about $95 from that gold trade pre-CPI number release. So we will keep checking in with the fast markets crew. We got about a minute left. What do you say we set up the fast markets crew for success? What are we looking at in the equities going into the open? Vince, you talked about liking the opening range trade in the Dow. What about the ES and the NQ?
Let's see here. So ES, right now we're flirting with the range high from yesterday. All right, there is resistance up here, and we have a value low at right here at 56.35-ish from March the 10th. So we are rejecting that area as of right now. This spike up from CPI got up to a negative point of control, but it's not regular trading hours. So that's still going to remain out there at 56, 60, 50. So that's something I'm going to be looking at. We hit it. We rejected it. We're inside a range in value. Probably going to remain patient here, JD, but there could be settlement play here also, back down to 58.78, I believe, or 79 was settlement. So I'm going to be watching to see how we open up and trade inside a range and value from yesterday. If we can hold above the range and value, I do like testing that 56.60 in regular trading hours.
Awesome. Yeah, we are sitting right on top of weekly kickoff low in the ES right now. 56.30 weekly kickoff low. Last trade, 56.33 half. Came down and just kissed it for a second and bounced right off of it. I'm thinking if we get an opening range trade on the north side of weekly kickoff low, it might be a good opportunity. But we'll let the fast markets crew decide how that plays out. All right, folks.
All right, folks. This morning at Fast Markets, a dynamic duo are back. Coach Dakota and Coach Jay are here for another day here in these markets. So we're going to be watching here. Coach Dakota signed off slow markets last night while in an MNQ trade. We'll find out. The question is, did it work for him?
Order filled.
Coach Jay is coming in after earning a little over $1,000 in his express funded account yesterday. So stick around. We got an all-star crew coming out at you here. So don't go away. Fast Markets coming up next.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You got that right.
Why TopStep? Because traders shouldn't have to risk everything to participate in the markets. And since 2012, we've provided capital to over 10,000 futures traders just like you. From the pits in Chicago to screens in over 143 countries, we've been motivated by one simple idea. We don't care who you are or where you learn to trade. If you pass TopStep's trading evaluation, you'll be invited to trade with our capital in a fully funded account. As a TopStep funded trader, you keep 90% of profits and we take the losses. We also offer educational resources for all levels, live classes, and free group coaching from a team with over a century of professional trading experience. We're invested in your success. So what are you waiting for? Ditch the brokerage account, start learning by doing, and become a TopStep funded trader today.
If I can't see a clear, no-brainer decision, then I try and not make the decision.
Yeah.
And no decision is actually better than a decision, is what I realized.
100%. The act of not trading is being a trader.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
you got to know when to trade, not to trade, and all that kind of stuff.
All right, we're at my office ever, people. Let's see if anyone's inside.
Who is it? Oh, welcome to Top Step TV Cribs. Come on in. This is the very first Top Step office ever. We're in Old Town Chicago. Come here. So that's all went down, right? Got some people playing pool. Got the bros hanging out on a Sunday, watching some football, hanging out here. And lo and behold, the very first Top Step desk office was right.
This is crap.
Look at this. Right
Oh, do you believe this? Because I cloned the... I just have long. I don't have short.
Like this. How about this?
Holy crap. All that time. All that time.
Pop
And
the
he
bottle,
didn't
hand the
do
trading
it.
card, slap it right here, pops the bottles, probably cheap Andre champagne, sprays it everywhere.
No short, because I didn't do it individually. Now let's see the one we just did. GC, I think it was. Or was it CL? CL did do it.
So this is where it all started?
400 North Wells. Old Town.
I just saw it for the first time. No.
What'd you think, JD?
It's, you know, it's, I suppose some people would compare it to Mecca or,
It's like Bezos' garage, just a little nicer. So last time we went to the original Top Step office. We're still here in Old Town, and we'd be remiss if we didn't show you the very first Top Step, actually Top Step Trader billboard, right? And I'm still thinking the alderman has a problem with this, but get a load of this. This is the very first Top Step Trader billboard.
In front of you is the daily bar charts for the ES. When you look from left to right for multiple days, what is important in there is that there's no indication of what I call adults in the room. When I use that statement, that means that I don't see any indication of any dominance by large institutional traders or those investment managers that hold for extended periods of time.
And an even quarter bid, half bid, the orders bid, even bid. Now I'm a seller, quarter, half, the orders, and even.